Today, boys and girls, we are going to be reading about who I am today, and that is Annie Easley. She is a woman in science and technology, and so we'll read this book by N.M. Enoch. Alright, table of contents. First, we're going to learn about young Annie, and then we'll get through the remainder of it to learn a little bit more about her life and who she is. Alright, what will Annie be? Annie Easley thought school was fun. Her only problem was talking back. She sometimes had to stay after school when she did that. She didn't mean to cause trouble. She just had opinions, and she liked to share them. Annie was born in 1933 in Birmingham, Alabama. Few African-American girls went to college then, but Annie's mother said, "You can be anything you want to be." She added, "But you have to work at it." Most working women with college degrees were nurses or teachers. Annie was good at math. Maybe she would become a nurse. Annie studied pharmacy in college. That is the study of medicines. Then she got married. She and her husband moved to Cleveland, Ohio. Annie thought she would keep studying pharmacy, and then pharmacy school there had closed. What could she do? Annie read an article about twin sisters who were computers. They worked at a research lab. The work sounded interesting. The lab needed people who were good at math. Annie was good at math. 2 weeks later, Annie began to work at the lab. That was in 1955. The place for space, Annie works for a government group. It later became NASA. That stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Annie the computer. As a computer, Annie worked for researchers. She solved math problems. She figured out the answers by hand. She was good at the math. But work was not always fun. Only 4 African Americans worked there. They were not treated fairly. One time, all the workers posed for a photo. Annie's face was cut out before the photo was even displayed. That hurt her feelings. Now think about it. If you and your friends are taking a picture, right, and they cut you out of the picture, how would that make you feel?
Sad.
Sad, yeah.
Probably feel angry.
Angry, yeah.
I would feel surprised because they were my friends.
Yeah, I'd feel surprised too because you think they're your friends, yep.
I would feel left out.
Left out, very good. So can you imagine how Annie might have felt when that happened to her?
Yes.
Annie did not let this bias stop her, however. She said, "If I can't work with you, I'll work around you." I was not about to walk away. That may be a solution for some people, but it's not mine. Later, machines called computers were invented. People still needed to tell the machines what to do. Annie learned to use the machines. She became a computer programmer. She wrote code that made machines run. Her computer code helped with many NASA projects. One project sent rockets into space. She wrote many papers about rocket engines. Annie also studied how to get power to vehicles. Her work on batteries helped make hybrid cars. Her other studies compared solar and wind energy. Smaller and faster. The first computers were machines that filled huge rooms. Over time, computers got smaller. They also got faster and more powerful. Much later, people got computers for home use. Now, we have tiny computers in phones and in watches. So think about it. She started with these huge computers, and now we use computers in our phones and our watches. So think about the transition of computers. And think about hybrid cars. Hybrid cars are a thing nowadays. People are plugging in their cars uptown Charlotte, right? Yes. And so the work that Annie did at NASA is the reason why hybrid cars have evolved into what they are today.
So
it's pretty cool.
A Tesla?
Like Teslas, absolutely. Go ahead.
Batteries.
Annie never stopped learning. In the 1970s, she went back to school. She earned a degree in mathematics. NASA paid for some employees to take classes. They would not pay for Annie's classes. She went anyway. "You don't let it stop you," she said. "I'm able to take care of myself." Annie helped others learn too. She tutored children in elementary and high school. She visited colleges. There, she talked to students about working at NASA. She inspired students to try science and math careers. Annie also fought for fair treatment at work. She counseled people who faced bias at work. They might have suffered unfair treatment because of their race, sex, or age, and she helped find solutions. Nothing was given to minorities or women, she said. It took some fighting. Annie was always ready to work for what she wanted. Time for play. Annie found time for fun too. She ran and played tennis and golf. She helped start NASA's ski club, and she set up employee picnics and a Christmas play for children. Working was not my whole world, she said. Life was changing for working women. Most of them wore dresses or skirts to work. One day, Annie and other women agreed to wear pantsuits. This let all the women know they could wear pants. Annie said, "We took the emphasis off of what you're wearing. It's more like what you're actually producing." Change did not happen as fast as Annie wanted. Still, she said, "I'm glad to live in this time. My good memories still outweigh the bad." Diversity makes a difference. Now, 1/3 of NASA employees are women. Thousands come from diverse backgrounds, and NASA supports diversity. They know having people of all types is important. Diversity leads to better ideas. Annie broke down barriers for women and people of color. She did not plan to be a role model, but she inspired people through her talks. She brought enthusiasm to all she did. She lived by her mother's word. You can be anything you want to be, but you have to work at it. Inspiring others. Annie Easley retired from NASA in 1989. That's the year Miss Gibb was born. She still often talked to young people. She encouraged them to go into math, science, and technology. She passed away in 2011. She was 78 years old. Annie wanted to do math, so she did. Don't listen to people who always tell you it's hard, Annie said. Don't give up on it. Just stick with it.